Okay, so talking about the wireframe, which here, um, overall, looking pretty good. I like the changes you've made to the. I like your adjustments that you made, taking into account my critique from the summer. Um, in general, the belt, the the little buckle, all of this is nice. The pants looking good. I think that I would like the shoes as separate pieces. Um, so basically, you can say grab these faces here for these kind of separate pieces. Um, Separate them out and then layer them on top of everything else, right? So if I say,
By the way, that reminds me. I wanted to ask: do you think the game I'm making it's more like for the computer or like mobile?
definitely it's a PC game, so we're using HDRP, so it wouldn't run super well in mobile, too much visual processing, and it's not going to run on browsers either. It's going to be basically think about it as a PC game.
Yeah.
Tiny PC game, but a PC game definitely. Oh wait, no. Yeah. So then, say like I would basically have these out here, um, and then, and this isn't perfect, but basically, you'd want them as separate pieces so that you've got more of this kind of. Right? Is that how it is in the concept? I have forgotten.
Yeah,
It,
it's
yeah.
that's what it is. But so you want it to be like a totally separate piece, or I might just bell it better and like bring it out a little better, so it's like you can really see that you know
Um.
it's really
Yeah.
protruding.
So if I look at yeah, the concept shoes, I think that what I want is a separate piece. Because it's so like with some of the shoe reference, like these are so clearly different pieces of leather that were sewn onto it. And we are basically we're not starved for polygons. We've got some room to elaborate a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, and same with the bottom of the shoe. Separate, um, kind of separate objects that we can first of all just grab and throw a totally separate version of, or throw a totally separate texture on when we're texturing a substance, but also that we can just use as a little bit of extra differentiation between the um, between the different shapes on the shoe. In general, the shoes are really good shape though. Like they're exactly the right shape. They might be a little bit wide in the toe. Um, like maybe we can bring them in a little bit. Maybe just a little bit wide in the toe. But in general, good shape. And that's my fault for not providing a worms view and aerial view in the orthographics. So then, talking about the hands, um, we definitely want to avoid like stars like this. Um, bringing the uh, bringing the edges into each other in more regularly will just help Noah um, like better. Like again, we're not starved for polygons. You can save a little space here. It's actually there's. I think that I will I can share with you a couple of hands that I can share with you a hand that I've modeled and I can share with you a hand that was used in the film Nine Eye last year that I textured. And I want you to follow the wireframe that they're using for theirs, because there's a lot here that's going to be a lot of the edge flow here is going to be a little bit difficult for Noah to that's going to be a lot of the edge flow here is going to be a little bit difficult for Noah to rig, I think. And again, the hand being a totally separate object from the arm, just like the hand to the shirt.
Okay.
Yeah. So we got that. This recording's going well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then talking briefly about the hand shape. We want the fingers straight. And I think that the fingers are a little narrow right now. Feel like we could. Wait, why won't it let me grab the face? Yeah, there we go. I completely forgot how to. Nah, it's fine. Anyway, fingers feel a little bit narrow right now. Feel like we could just kind of bring them up a little bit. And it would still feel, and it would make it feel a little bit more natural. What's going on here? Is those aren't actually joined. Yeah, make sure that all the mesh is completely joined. No meshes.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that happened, because maybe something about the export.
I've had mistakes like that happen all the time. It's fine. Yeah, and it might be the export. In that case, I think probably exporting as an FBX would fix it. But if not, just make sure that everything's joined together. I feel like. So yeah, fingers straight. I feel like the fingers can be a little bit fatter. I feel like also you want to get a little bit more definition for the knuckle in there. Again, you can like the center knuckle, right? Which would be like. I'm looking at. I gotta look at my own hand real quick. Something like that, like all these, a little bit more. And in general, you can go higher poly on the hands. Like I would not fault you if you went like 150% this poly count for the hand. Just to get all that extra edge flow that we want. So that the hands are easily riggable, because we are gonna end up having riggable hands. The animators wanted it. And that'll just make it easier. And then watch the proportions too. I think the pinky is the flow for this is why I really wanted to draw. Basically, the flow for there we go. The flow across the knuckles should come in a little bit more of an arc like that. So I think probably we'd want these a little further down, these a little further down. I should also grab here. I should also grab this geometry. And do the same thing I did with the others to kind of make it all match. Yeah, and then you definitely want the same flow coming out for the fingers. So you want this kind of shape. In fact, I feel like this we can have a little bit more out there. Hands are tough. Hands are really tough. So I don't blame you for like some of this is a little bit awkward. And just take your time. You'll eventually get the hang of it. I still can't model hands correctly, so. Oh yeah, and then, yeah, I feel like I messed that up when I was kind of tweaking, and I think spend some more time on the low poly for the hands in general.
Okay, and so you want it straight, so uh, like
Yeah, straight fingers.
straight fingers.
Kind of like can you can still see my camera, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So kind of like splayed out, straight fingers. Like hold your palm like that, and be
Mm.
like think about the biggest you can make your hand.
Okay.
And then Noah can rig it so that it closes on up, opens on up, and that's basically going to be the extent of the rigging. It's going to open and close, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just like this is good for a casual pose, but we need like a a pose, a T pose. Yeah, and then you've twisted on here. Make sure that the sleeve twists with it. Um, so that like because we want these buttons to rotate when she rotates her arm because you rotate and not as much as the as the arm, maybe a little bit like this because like you rotate from your forearm. Oh, and the buttons disappeared. Oh well. You rotate from your forearm, but your your whole arm rotates a little bit. Like it's mostly the action is in the wrist and the forearm, but you get a little bit of action up here. Like most of the action's down here, but you get a little bit of action up here. So when you rotate the hand, make sure to rotate the sleeve just a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then really quickly, I think that I indicated the in the yeah, I think these should come out a little more.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little bit less flat. Yeah. And then for the collar needs to come all the way in because it's in two separate pieces. So we basically want it to look like two separate pieces. So in and in and down, um, and then we kind of tuck it into the rest of the shirt. Is the are the collar and the shirt in the same mesh?
I think so, yeah.
If it makes it, yeah, it's just a little bit more something like this. If it makes it easier, I would just do it in two
Okay.
meshes. But you don't need to. I feel like this is like it's not like the shoes where it really needs to be the same mesh. I feel like it can be two different meshes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I like how you folded it over. I like the edge you've got going on here. The color overall is good. It's just that one point that just needs to fold in there like that.
Okay.
And then let me refer back to the most. I think that's most everything. I think that for the because there's something that was a little bit weird on the shirt. I think that this center line should actually come in a little bit. Maybe even these all come in a little bit. I think that the main definition, like the main differentiation for the form on the shirt is gonna be like these two lines. You remember they're like these are like two red lines in there. And what's going on in? Did I grab the wrong? Oh yeah, I did. I did totally grab the wrong one. Yeah, these two red lines in there, or yeah, those two red lines in there are like the main kind of form you want to follow. And I think they come up, but then I do think they come back down a little bit, and then they give more room for these buttons, which should be a little fatter. And then for the face, most of the face stuff we'll address when we get to the high poly sculpt. But really quickly,
I do have the high poly sculpt, yeah.
oh yeah, but like that's the high poly isn't urgent. Like I imagine we'll be sculpting and texturing and baking all of that. We'll be doing that for the next like 6 months to get the
Mm.
character really looking good. But for low poly, we want to get it done as fast as possible so Noah can finish. Ears looking very good, but I think that it is a little too far back, and a little bit too far up. I think we want, because remember the top of the ear kind of hits around the eyelid.
Mm.
So it's a little too far back, a little too far up.
Yeah, I think I was following the.
Yeah, I think the I think yeah, my my orthographic does put it a little far back. But then yeah, follow the. What about the photo ref that we've got? Yeah, I think maybe like this photo ref puts a little back, a little up. Also, she's got really small ears.
Mm.
A little back, a little up because of the way she's facing. Oh, and yeah, oh, my orthographic's not totally accurate with the positioning of the ears. Yeah, that's my bad. Sorry. It's fine. Yeah, so, and then I think that the mouth is a little wide, and we do not need the mouth bag, because the face is not rigged.
So I'll then delete the mouth bag and just
Yes.
saw the lips
Yeah.
together.
Seal the lips, delete the mouth bag, that's fine. I think that with a face that's this high poly, we do have some opportunity to get a little bit in depth with some, yeah, so I think first of all, the mouth is a little bit too wide. And the mouth, and yeah, we just closed the lips basically. I think that, and with the lips closed, you're going to want to not have the mouth as a, you're going to want to not have the mouth as a perfect, perfect flat line. You're going to get a little bit more shaping. It's not, it's not perfect, but you're going to want a little bit more shaping. And then if I look from this angle, you can see that the wraparound for the mouth is a little bit tight. And I think that was also what was making it look a little wide. So I think what we want there then is to bring the corners of the mouth just forward a little bit. And maybe, yeah, something like that. And you can see she's already starting to look a bit less doll-like. It might just be because we closed her lips, but also because I think the and we can maybe it was just that. Yeah, there we go. And then we can add the Filtrum in a little bit better. Whoops. Right? To just get a little bit more definition in there. It's probably not perfect, but yeah, it's like a little bit more. And then we can crease up the nose just a little bit. By the way, your geometry, your edge flow on the face is very good. I think that we can crease up the nose a little bit just to get a little bit more of an angle in there. Maybe even bring these faces out. Yeah. And then I think that her nose is getting a little wide in the bridge. If I look at I didn't go super in depth for that, but I can look at our photo reference. And yeah, her nose, I feel like can get a little bit narrower in here. Maybe we just bring the whole thing in a little bit. Maybe we, oops. don't mind what's going on in the back of the head. You know, like none of this is final. But maybe we
I
bring.
I I usually for the face, I
Yeah.
usually work with it in ZBrush. Like once I retopo and it looks like if the topology just looks fine, I
Mhm.
after that I just put it in ZBrush and change everything in ZBrush and like just
Right.
grab the first
Right, yeah, and that's probably good. That's probably what you should do. Like this is the bad way, but this is just demonstration. Um, yeah, that's fine. And like yeah, you can divide it down and then sculpt on the high poly and then go back down to the lowest
yeah.
polygons and export that. Yeah, that kind of
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, I think nose a little bit narrower. I think even the tip of the nose can get a little bit narrower. Um, oops. Yeah. Yeah. Um, and then again, most of the changes that we're going to be making are are going to be in the the high poly,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, I think I posted on Sync Sketch. It's not high poly, but it's the textures that I basically got from high poly. Uh,
Nice. Oh yeah, yeah. I saw. I was looking at that, and it's looking pretty good. Feel like we can bring the jaw out a little bit too,
mhm.
just a little. Yeah, yeah. Actually, definitely bring the jaw out. The jaw was getting a little narrow, and then we can even also bring the chin in a little bit to get a little bit more of that facial definition that we've got from the model. Um, yeah, and then and so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna post this video, but last thing, I do want the hair in pieces.
Oh,
So like several different strands that like the sculpted hair is probably what we're gonna go with.
mhm.
But we're and even though she does have like really tight, um, even though she does have like a really kind of tightly bound up in a bun hairdo, it's really kind of slicked over like that. We still want separate pieces just to get a little bit more of that like that naturalness back, a little bit more of the a little bit less of a helmet, and that'll help
Mhm.
when texturing too because it can help us avoid regularity. Um, yeah,
How many pieces do you want that to be?
that is up to you. I can send you a couple of tutorials that I've followed while I was sculpting hair that I feel
Mm.
like were really informative. Um, I think that just in general though, getting it away from like a single mass and separate
Mhm.
pieces. Oh, and definitely separate pieces for the bun. You
Yeah.
definitely want to go totally separate for the bun.
Yeah, I have some experience doing hair, and it's like I feel like when I use, the brush, it's usually like if I did something like that the way I used to do it, it would be like, maybe 20 pieces. At the same time, I can only do 5 pieces, like so
Right.
where do you want it to be? 5 or
I think
10 or 20?
I think that 10 is probably a good number
Hmm.
to kind of pursue, right? It's like
Okay.
enough that it's definitely all separate pieces,
Okay.
but not so much that it like completely outbalances the character because there's just so much detail in the hair.
Mm-hmm. And do you want it to be done like with like ZBrush brushes that are like hair strands, or I also can go to ZBrush and like mask out parts of what I already have and make them detach them basically.
I think
Uh,
you're. I think that what I would do is I would mask out shapes from this, and
uh-huh.
then uh, extrude them out as separate meshes,
Okay.
and then just have these kind of strand-shaped mesh blobs that that you can work
Okay.
and sculpt on.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think between 8 and 10 is probably good, and then also keeping this kind of form underneath it all as a base, but shrunk down a little bit and without the bun. Yeah. Yeah, I think that'll be good. I think that'll definitely be good. Yeah, just shrunk down a little bit without the bun, and then you've got like you got shapes that that are laying over the top of it that flow in all the same ways. Yeah. So does that all sounds doable?
Yep, sounds great.
Perfect. It is 11 o'clock. This meeting has gone on for an hour. Um,
Good job, everyone.
yes. Awesome job, everyone.
Sleep now.
Yeah. Let's go to bed. Let's all go to